Well, it's about that time. I know it's a little late, but you know what? Better late than never. Time to start fiberglassing this boys. Start fiberglassing him. No, start fiberglassing. Fiberglass. Don't fiberglass your ass. Fiberglass. Gotta get my tissue paper. Fiberglass. Cloth is right here. This is what I need, my tissue paper fiberglass. I'll put that up there. And I'll take off the strips of this. And tissue paper. And the reason this is so good is because it will conform to any and all details, especially the scarring and stuff. So, I'm going to mix up some fiberglass and we're going to start putting this on him. I'm just making sure this doesn't have any residuals in it. Because one thing fiberglass can do, pick up clumps and chunks of dirt and stuff like that. You get your lid on your fiberglass resin, and then you get your fiberglass resin right here. Before I do this, I gotta dust this thing off. Where's my brush? I'm gonna brush it right here. Got this plaster off of here so it doesn't go into the fiberglass. Okay. Now you can do this two ways. One, you can gel coat it. Two, you can do just a resin coat on it. I'm gonna do a coating, but I want that fiberglass, that tissue fiberglass, to go over here. It's gonna be about 3 layers of that, so I can get this thing covered and done. Okay, so put your thing in there, and I'm gonna get some more brushes. All I do is mix up some fiberglass here. Get this resin activator on here. And I'm gonna start just putting a thin layer, light layer of resin on it. Make sure that all the brush bristles don't get on there. And brush bristles are getting nasty. Then you take a little bit of tissue paper, put it down on there, and just stipple it in. I don't really need to stipple it up on the flange area, but you know, I need to get that edge where the flange is. Now let me make sure that lays flat and it's bubble free. So just press that on there where you don't see anything but brown clay. You don't want to see any bubbles at all. All you want to see is this brown clay. Set in there. Make sure it lays down flat. When you come to your things like the cut, you're going to put some tissue, you're going to put some fiberglass and tissue in there and make sure that conforms all the way down. and get your little fucking first things out. There's going to be 3 full layers of this, and then I'll do a cloth on top of all this. I want to make sure this fiberglass mat gets down in here and conforms very well to all these details. That's what this tissue paper does, is it will pick up all these details. And it's better than chop mat, because chop mat as a front layer doesn't work when you've got a lot of details. It will not conform to them, and neither will cloth. Why you want to use this tissue paper first. Put plenty of resin on your brush. Don't be afraid to not use the resin. That's what it's for. Put your resin on the brush. Make sure those fibers lay down. Get your resin on there. I'm going to take little bits as you want to go along and put them in there. Get down that cut, make sure you don't have any bubbles or anything. Put an extra layer of resin in that cut so that tissue paper will lay down. And it will conform to all these wrinkles and pick up all your details. Make sure it gets tucked and folded. Everywhere. We use a lot of resin on this thing, so make sure it gets in all the nooks and the crannies and everywhere. And a good layer of resin go down, and you can just put that fiberglass on top of it. Make sure it captures all those details. Gets in everywhere. Tear you off little bits of tissue paper. I conform to everything, so I just want to go section by section, make sure I get it completely covered. It'd be easier if I was doing this with a laying on back, but that way I can just stiffle this resin in here and make sure it gets in, but it's going to get in anyway. You hear that fiberglass in the suction from where it gets in there. Get on there and just tap it in there and make sure that lays flat, and you have nothing but brown showing, brown showing. Got nothing but brown showing. Yeah. I got some more resin. Get low on resin, you use a lot of this stuff. Matter of fact, I got about 2 more gallons. I got a commission I'm going to be doing. He's Michael Berryman. Y'all know who that is? I'll be doing a silicone molding of him. Not silicone, but I mean, I'm going to make silicone busts. Michael Berryman. Might do more characters. And I got a feeling I might meet him someday at a convention. I'd like to have a piece that he could look at and go, "Wow, that's me." He's one of my favorite actors. He's such an odd-looking fella, but he's such a great, character actor. Weird Science, Mad Max, all these other movies he's done. Well, not Mad Max, but yeah, I think it was. I love Vern Wells. But he did play a kind of Hills Have Eyes. He did play a kind of a road warrior character with Vernon Wells in Weird Science. He's actually used to be an English teacher. I think he's retired now. But yeah, he's definitely an interesting dude. I'd like to meet him someday and have something that I could say, hey, you know, I sculpted you, or I made you, and, you know, that sort of thing. But I chit-chatting because I'm bored and nobody's watching. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. I got everything to do on Thursday night and see who's watching me Fiberglass. More in here, just in case. Did use quite a bit of fiberglass to make sure that activated more than just enough. Got a good layer coat of resin on. I wonder I can skim forward him a bit. So I'm making sure I get all these 4 details and everything else in there on him. Get him down one side and then up the other. Get his neck and everywhere. Gotta get some of the ears and all that crap. And you go to pull this out and the tissue paper wants to pull away. You gotta layer one layer at a time. And try to put tissue paper on top of it before it gets a chance to cure a bit, it'll fucking start falling away. And that's where you get air bubbles and all kinds of bullshit. Here. For regular resin down here on the vase because I don't have to worry about the details on his chest. I just want regular resin on that. I can fiberglass cloth that without having to worry about it. What I'm concerned now about is just the details. I get all the details of the face and the head and the whole kit and caboodle. I'm going to do one thing real quick before I do this on the eye. I'll take a little Vaseline and put it on there. Because resin is a hard liquid, it turns into a hard substance. If it gets on the eye, it's going to pull the eye out. But I want it to conform to it, but I don't want to ruin the eye. The to mold the eye itself. I want to be able to use that for another piece. So I'm going to take a little bit of resin, a little bit of Vaseline, and put it right there on the eyeball. And that's a release for the resin. Now, even though I put resin over it, it's not going to like hang and stick and pull that eye out and shit. Oh, shit. You can tear this off if you want, and just do that and form that in there, like so. I should do this like this. We've got it all inside the mouth and the nose and everything, so it doesn't fuck it up. And all those strings to lay down and just feel. You know, that lip detail. And I'm going to put one in the nose, put them in the booger holes, make them booger holes, get some booger holes filled in. Yes. Put your fingers in his nose, make them booger holes, just feel. There you go. There's shit on there. Get that in the eyes. Okay. You don't want to see fiberglass. You just want to see the clay. No white spots, no nothing. No air bubbles, no strings, no nothing. I may have to chip them on his back to get some of these indentions like the nose. But I'm going to do that when this first layer dries. Just put a heavy dose of resin right in here in the mouth. And keep getting these damn little sticky thin fibers want to stick up and shit. When they do that, that means they're going to dry hard and they're going to be little 10-foot jagged things. I'll lay down more fiberglass over that, but they'll still stick up. And we don't want that. Turn them a little bit more. Get over here a little bit. I'm going to get side of the head and the ear. I gotta get a new brush. This thing got stiff and nice and round, god damn it. And a soft brush. Too stiff. Oh, the bristles are acting out. Get over here for his ear. And push that resin in there and just get that thing in there. Just jiggy, 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 jiggy. Get that all on the ear. All around it, all in it. Put that top and bottom inside out. And brush his resin on his neck. And then we'll be done for the first layer. And then I'll have to come back out. I gotta doctor up a small spot right here with clay. And use the last of this to get this brushed on here. It's starting to clump up. That means it's going to be curing here, and it's kicking off for a cure. Make sure every inch of it is covered. And that's the first layer of fiberglass. I'll put that down there just there. Get it on there and show y'all. I don't have to have this detail tissue paper fiberglass on here, on this portion. There's not really any detail, but I'm just going to throw that piece on there. It wants to clump up and fuck up and all that shit, so I gotta walk away from it. So I got the goddamn plaster bit coming up on it. And get those off. The more adverse, the worse it's gonna get. Alright, now I gotta do a little bit of clay right there on that one. And that'll be it for the first layer. Oh, fuck, I just turned the pot off again. I gotta let the clay heat up, then put a little bit on there. And then that's it. First layer of fiberglass done. All the way around. Clip that off with the scissors when I fucking get it. But there we go, he's done with the first layer of fiberglass. Put 3 more of those on there like that, and then we'll move to the cloth and just put cloth on there on top. Alright, that's to capture all the details. So we will see you a little bit later on tomorrow, probably.